Right, we are back. Another edition of Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. Fired up today. Enjoying these. An after work special, actually. An after work special. Been working hard all day. We're
Yes.
just here, just trying to help some people out. Again, this is, we're here. We're just trying to answer questions from just around the world, really. It's an international show. We're here. We're just trying to help people out be, just a little bit happier, a little bit less stress in their relationships. I haven't heard any of these. I don't know what's coming at me. I have no idea. But you got something good for us, you said. So I'm excited
Yes, I'm
about it.
I'm rather excited about the premise of this one and your
Okay.
initial reaction.
All right. Interesting. Okay. So all right. Well, let's get to the initial reaction, first take, whatever you want to call it. Let's get to it. Hit me. What is the question? What do we have today?
Again, it's Reddit, so not a question in the initial reaction, more of a title. But it's gonna give you enough to have a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know how to tell my sister, a 23-year-old female, that her ex, a 25-year-old female, and I, a 27-year-old male, are gonna have a baby.
Oh shit. Okay. My initial reaction is good for this guy. That's my initial reaction. Good for this guy. I'm very excited for this gentleman. Honestly, I'm very excited for him. This guy is living the dream, 100%, in a real weird way, but he's living the dream. I support him. I'm gonna help him out. I'm gonna help him out. That's my initial reaction. I want to help him. I want to cure his pain. That's what I want to do.
Okay. This one is one that has a lot of details. I love that. So we'll get all the details. I want to be happy about this because I'm going to be a dad for the first time. But also, I feel awful and don't know how this is going to affect my sister Mel.
It's not great. She's going to think you're a real piece of shit.
She's my half sister, same mom, but different dad. So our last names are different and we don't look alike much. Plus, I was studying abroad when my sister came out as a lesbian 3 years ago. It'll be relevant.
What? Okay, I guess.
This is how Jenna, my girlfriend, her ex, and I never connected the dots until after we were seeing each other a while.
It's not relevant, but okay.
Okay. Mel developed feelings for Jenna when they were co-workers and they started going out. She was basically the person who helped my sister realize she was attracted to women and came out of the closet. I never met Jenna when my sister was dating her and only saw a picture of her once, but that was when Jenna had blonde hair. We were both busy with our lives, so we didn't communicate much. I found out they broke up and Mel was completely heartbroken. She said Jenna no longer had feelings for her and was having doubts about her sexuality, so she decided to end their year-long relationship. I ended up moving back months after their breakup, just after I graduated and found a new job. I eventually decided to try dating again, went on a few Tinder dates, and guess who I matched with? Yeah, Jenna. But like an idiot, I didn't think anything of it. I mean, there's a million Jennas out in the world. Do you think there's literally a million Jennas?
I don't know, probably, but this guy using the names is unbelievable. It's fantastic. I love it.
We had our date and really clicked. She's so sweet, funny, and genuine. I knew by the end of the date I was going to fall hard for her, and we did. We love spending time together, and things got serious pretty fast. COVID made it hard to see each other often, but we basically FaceTimed several times a day, so we are still close in a way. Barely 2 months ago, we finally figured it out. She slept over at my place, and I got a call from my sister telling me how my mom's doing. One of her coworkers got COVID, so my mom tested and it came back negative. We talked about my family. I showed her a picture of my sister and she froze. Like literally her face went white. I asked her what was up, and that's when the whole thing came out. We were both pretty shocked. Jenna knew Mel had a brother, but because I wasn't in contact with my sister much back then, we just both never knew. It was awkward, but we both had and still do deep feelings for each other and, well, kept going out. I haven't been able to figure out how to tell my sister, and now we just learned that Jenna is pregnant, which we're both really excited about, by the way. It wasn't expected, and this relationship has been only going on 11 months. But we're still looking forward to being parents and love each other deeply. We're making plans to find a bigger place to move in together before the baby gets here. I just have no idea how I'm going to tell my sister all of this. She was really heartbroken when they split up, and as far as I'm aware, hasn't dated since. Jenna was pretty much her first love, and I'm scared this is going to crush her. She's basically going to be the aunt of her ex's child, and I'm not sure what's the best way I can break the news to her. Anyone have any advice on how to proceed?
How long have they been broken up? Did they say? I don't. He added all this fucking detail that didn't matter to me. That part.
So it was when her sister came out like 3 years ago. So maybe like they had been broken up for like a year before they start, a year-ish before, like maybe more, because they haven't been together for a full year. But it sounds like they figured it out 9 months into their relationship, at least.
Who figured out what?
Oh, the poster and Jenna figured out 9 months into their relationship that his sister was Mel.
Oh wait, this guy's been holding on to the secret for 2 fucking months?
Yeah.
What? This guy's a fucking idiot. What are you doing? It's not that hard, man. All right, first of all, here's the thing about secrets, okay? Either sack up and keep the fucking secret, or tell it immediately. Like, that's how the truth works. All these people out here who are like, oh, well, I'll just tell them in a while. Like, you're too fucking weak. You don't have the constitution to keep a goddamn secret. Like, you don't have the actual physical and emotional makeup to not have a fucking secret eat you alive. This is the shit that doesn't make any sense to me, right? It's not any better to have a tough conversation in the future. At best, it's going to be the same. And if your best case scenario is that it's not going to be any worse, if that's the best case scenario, then just fucking say it right now. Like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you sitting on this shit for 2 fucking months, man? You figured it out. This is something you tell. This is day one. You fucking call her while you're in the bed with her right at the time. You call her. It's not that difficult, okay? Because this guy obviously does not have the ability to keep this secret. He literally doesn't have the ability to keep this secret. This shit is eating him alive. He's going to get a fucking ulcer because he doesn't have he doesn't have the actual physical and emotional and spiritual makeup to be a secret keeper, right? That's a thing. That's a genetic trait that you can have. You can't work on that shit, okay? That's not. This ain't a nature versus nurture thing. This is pure nature, 100% nature. Okay, you either have the chromosome or you don't have the fucking chromosome. That's it. End of story. Nobody's ever learned how to keep a secret. That's not how that shit works. You either can keep a secret or you can't keep a secret. And if you're somebody who that shit's gonna weigh in your mind, which obviously is happening to this guy, you need to tell a secret right away. Just say it. Just fucking say it. You want to have a hard conversation? Have it today. Have a hard conversation today. Because you know what? You're gonna develop some fucking stress. You're gonna lose some hair. You're gonna fucking give yourself an ulcer before you have the conversation, and then you're gonna feel like shit during the conversation. Okay? You need to be there at your physical peak to have that conversation, because you don't have the physical capabilities of keeping this secret to begin with. You definitely don't have the ability, the physical traits to keep this secret, and then to have a conversation about this secret without fucking falling apart. Okay? That's the problem that I have with this guy. I was on his side. I want to help him out until you told me that he's been keeping the secret for 2 fucking months. No. If you're keeping it for 2 months and you're okay with it, you're saying even if this is you're not asking this question. Don't ask this question because you're okay with it. And you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to tell her I have a kid. Like, that's where your mind is going. If you're a secret keeper, you're going, your question would be, how do I make sure that my sister, the ex of my fiance or girlfriend or whatever, and the future mother to my child, how do I make sure my sister never finds out that I have a kid? That's what you ask. If you're a secret keeper, that's the question you ask, okay? This guy is asking the other question, which means he's not a secret keeper, which is most people, by the way, most people. I'm not including myself in that. I don't have the ability to keep a secret like that. I just don't. That's why I have those conversations. You have the conversation immediately. So bad job by you. You need to have this conversation. You should have had this conversation 2 months ago. You need to have it fucking today. You need to have this conversation today. How do you have the conversation? It's really not that difficult, man. It really isn't that difficult. There's no way to soften bad news. Doesn't exist. Literally doesn't exist. If it's going to rip somebody's fucking heart out, there is not a single thing you can do about that. Okay? This isn't fucking, you're not going to fucking put it on a marshmallow and they're going to, oh, let me just softly fall into this shit. No, their heart's going to break. They're going to fucking fall down in front of you and you're going to collapse yourself physically because you don't have the constitution to deal with that type of shit. Okay? That's the type of thing I'm talking about. It's going to break her 100%, absolutely. But you're going to look at her and you're going to say, hey, look, I got some tough news for you. And then I'll explain it to you when you're ready. I'll explain how this happened and we can talk about whether or not you're okay and what we can do about this situation. That's it. That's what you're going to say to her. And then you give her the bad news and you say, don't explain the other shit before. Don't explain the other shit before. You don't need to, oh, I didn't know and all this. You can save that for when she's ready to hear it. What she needs to hear is the words that she needs to hear, which is, I got Jenna pregnant. We're going to have a kid. Fuck, at this point, I don't know, tomorrow. I have no idea. This guy's waiting forever, probably till after the baby happens. But whatever, we're having a baby. That's it. That's what you need to tell her. And then you can explain all the stuff you want. But don't start with that shit. Don't make yourself feel better because that's not softening the blow for her. It's not softening the blow for her for you to say, well, I didn't know, and we weren't talking, and I wasn't there when you came out. Again, a completely irrelevant detail. That shit didn't matter at all. But that's not going to soften the blow for her. She is not going to feel any better about the fact that you didn't know who Jenna was. Maybe she will in the future, but right now she's not going to feel any better about that. So don't do that because that's going to make you feel better. You're doing that for you, not for her. You're doing that for you. Get that straight in your head. Understand that fact because that's what you're doing. Tell her, I'll explain everything you want. We can talk about it as much or as little as you want. But what I need to tell you is Jenna is going to have my baby. And that's it. And then you see how she reacts. That's what you do. Because anything else you do is just to make you feel better. You're asking this question to say, how can I make her not hate me? And really what that means is, how can I make it easier on myself? Because you already know it's going to fucking break her. You know that you are going to physically watch her break down and not be able to handle that news. And that's going to make you feel like shit. And what you're asking is, how do I not feel like shit? Not how does she not feel like shit? I'm not saying you're not going to feel bad for her. I'm saying that's not the question you're asking. You're not saying, how do I make sure she is okay? You're saying, how do I make sure she is not mad at me? That's a selfish way to ask this question. That's why I need to tell you very specifically, don't lead with all that other shit. Tell her what she needs to know, and then tell her you are willing and able to have a conversation with her if and when she is ready. That's it. It's not that hard. This shit ain't rocket science. It's not that difficult. You just say it. You say, here it is. Here's the answer.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. That was a mic drop moment.
I don't know. I mean, these people are done. This doesn't make any sense. Just stop fucking keeping secrets. Too many people try to keep secrets, okay? Stop watching fucking sitcoms and thinking that you're cool like those people. Guess what? They can't keep the secret on the sitcom. Stop learning shitty lessons. You know, everybody has that thought. Like, oh, man, it would be cool if we could do this and we could keep that secret. You can't fucking keep the secret. If you could, you'd be a fucking conniving, just snake of a human being. It's good that you're not. Think about that. It's good that you're not that. It's good that you can't keep a secret. But if you could keep a secret, you'd be asking a different question. So stop pretending that you could do that. Stop putting off the inevitable and just fucking get it over with. Because guess what? She'd already be 2 months into forgiving you by now. She'd already be 2 months into forgiving you. She'd be that much closer to being able to hold your kid. Think about that. Think about it. She'd be 2 months closer to holding your kid. And she's not because you're a fucking pussy. I don't know. This fires me up. I don't know. I'm not happy about it. I don't like it. I hate when people do that. I hate you. Just have the fucking conversation. Just have the conversation. Have it. Just tell the other person. Just fucking say it to the other person. It's not that difficult. I don't know. I'm fired up. I gotta stop. I'm fired up.
I know. I don't have anything to add. I mean, I can't argue with that logic, and I think that it's sound logic. If the part where, you know, the part that got me, there are two parts that I never think of when I have the urge to keep a secret. One of them is like, if the best thing you're going to get by like, you know, putting it off is that it's just going to be, it's just going to be exactly the same. Except when you couple that into the idea that you're now 2 months away from that person forgiving you or you being able to move on from whatever happened.
Yep.
You know, the chances are in this one, his sister's eventually going to get over it. Like, she's young.
Yeah,
it was her
100%.
first heartbreak.
100%.
She's going to eventually not care.
Yep.
He's too in the moment to like think about that she would be way more resentful of you ruining her chance to experience her first, potentially first, like, niece or nephew. That is a bigger deal in the span of life than your first girlfriend. It doesn't feel like it when you lose that first boyfriend or girlfriend, but that's a reality.
Yep, 100%. 100%. No, that's the thing. So, look, we did it. We chastised this guy. Maybe not enough. I don't know. I think he still needs to be chastised more, but whatever. It's fine. We'll stop for now. That was a good question. That's a good premise. I mean, that's an interesting premise. That's something that doesn't happen.
The other thing that boggled my mind that I forgot to mention is, like, he really didn't do anything wrong until he just lied to us. Just didn't tell us.
100%. No, yeah, you brought that shit on yourself, dude.
There wasn't anything that he did wrong, but because people are so afraid to, like you say, have hard conversations, and just be honest and be willing to, like, put out forward the fact that you don't need to make yourself feel better first. Like, that's what the issue is he feels like shit. When we do that, we feel like shit. We want to avoid feeling like shit for as long as possible, but you just feel like shit longer.
Yep,
and that was the one thing, that was the first thing I thought of when I read through it, and I forgot to mention that, is like, dude didn't do anything wrong until he was just shitty about talking to his sister.
No, that's a good point. That's actually a great point. That was sort of implied in what I was saying, but it should be stated.
Yeah,
no. I'm saying
obviously.
You're absolutely right to state it. I didn't state it. That was in the back of my head, but I wasn't even consciously thinking about that, right? I just immediately jumped to, dude, you're doing something wrong now. That's a great point to bring up. You didn't do anything wrong. That's the key. If you don't, whether you did anything wrong or not, it doesn't matter. You should have these conversations, but you specifically didn't do anything wrong until you started fucking around with the timeline of this stuff. Like, when you find out some stuff, tell the people, get it over with. Everybody will be fine. She probably would have been okay. Now she's going to be pissed that you hit it for 2 months. I guarantee it. That's going to be a thing. It's going to be a fucking talking point. Guarantee it. So, that was good points that you brought up. 100%. That's why you're here, bringing up good points that I forget. So, all right. So we did it. We helped this guy out. Good luck, dude. I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm assuming you're just going to have a heart attack before you have this conversation. But whatever. Good luck, man. Hope the kid's fine. All that stuff. Anyways, all right. So people who got comments on this, you got other questions or anything like that, you can hit us up. You can get us on email. You can email us at, what's the email?
The email is info.yourrelationshipsucks@gmail.com.
Right, so you can hit us there. You can get us on Reddit to just ask questions or whatever, interact with us. That's what's the name?
It is UR relationship sucks.
Okay. All right. So your relationship sucks. Your relationship sucks. Yeah. Hit us up there. Otherwise, you can you see the videos. If you like that, you got the podcast, subscribe or whatever. Anybody who's out there who is listening and supporting and all that stuff, we really do appreciate it. We're gonna keep doing it, but we really do appreciate it. So keep doing all the stuff that you do for everybody else and all those things. And we will be back next time to help more people just stop making these dumb fucking decisions. Hopefully.